Good morning, everyone. This is Anne Marie. Today is Wednesday, November the 7th, 2012, and we've got the election behind us. That does lift a bit of uncertainty out of the market. We are sitting at this region right here as resistance that I see, 143.22. We had quite a bit of gyration last night, a dip down and then a pop-up, certainly, as things seem to be getting resolved. And now we are pulling back off of that high of 1431 and some change. And of course I refer to the ES because that is what I watch and primarily trade. So it was back up to that old resistance level that we'd hit some days ago, and so that's going to put it, right at around here as far as the SPY is concerned. So what is it that we want to see today, or what is it that we expect to see today? First of all, it would be a very nice thing if we popped out of this, failed it, came in below the midline, held it, popped up again. That's a second test of this breakout level, right? The retest failed. So we want to see a retest that holds. And if we have a retest that holds, we've got ourselves more upside. So how about for the ideal trade setup, we see a pullback to somewhere around 122.50-ish, 122.55, somewhere there, maybe close to these wicks, as opposed to where I have it right here. That's 24.43. And let's see what happens there. We should, in all likelihood, hold that level quite well. All right, so that being said, what we need to look at today are the things we need to look at every day. Where are we in relation to the moving averages? Where is relative support and resistance? Please remember that we have a market that loves to create wicks, especially on smaller time frames. And just because we've finished the election really doesn't mean that we have everything squared away in the world, of course, as you know, and so it's not going to change the nature of the market. It might change the overall direction for a time because we are getting rid of a level of uncertainty, but we are still having to contend with tall wicks, with sharp reversal events like this one right here, and an area where we need to consider carefully, because of that, how big our size is and if we're willing to manage the heat that's going to come when something goes against us, but the trade or the trend actually has not reversed. Okay, lines in the sand. The prior day's open was the first gap up there. Then we need to look at, let's get to the hourly chart and see where we're at. See what these levels are. Watch the moving averages. We are sitting just above the VWAP. Another place to take a nice solid bounce that's going to drive action to the upside a bit and into the 200 on the hourly here, which collides with this event. So all kinds of very, very interesting things for us to watch here. Suffice to say, up seems the most likely choice. Series of, here's a low, here's a higher low, higher relative high to this one, higher relative high to this one. Let's see what happens with this pullback here. Let's see if we can push it to the top. What should we end up at today? Now that one's a little bit tougher because I don't quite know how much push the market has, because all of this push is the push that I expected today, not yesterday. Unusual, but it is what it is. So if this was the push, and what we have is another minor press to the upside and then a roll, we know that if we fall back into the channel, that we have yet another failed breakout, this time with a lower high out of the break, which telegraphs a lower low into the region. Nothing set in stone. Simply because I think that there's some upside momentum ready to be had here doesn't mean that it didn't happen yesterday. And it doesn't mean that it's going to happen today. We're just looking at things from an overall perspective of wave action. Now, if I can come out and give you 3, 4, 5 different scenarios about what's going on with a chart, that should tell you something. And what it should tell you is the market is still jittery, still uncertain, still choppy, and so we have to act accordingly. All right? Good luck with your trades. Pay attention to the way those candlesticks forms, folks. The way they form really going to help you decide which way to move. All right? Have a good day.